Hi everyone. I had a question on Instagram on one of the posts that was about sleeping next to a partner and how to kind of work with that when you really want to sleep with your partner, but you're afraid that you won't sleep as well. And insomnia has kind of been calling the shots, and sort of forcing you to sleep in another bedroom or another area where you'd rather be in your bed with your partner. So this is for Kate. So this is definitely something that so many people that go through insomnia are going to face, and myself included. I definitely spent a lot of time not in the bed with my husband, and it was nothing he was doing, like you said too. I mean, he snores slightly, but that never bothered me before. And then when I had insomnia, of course, it was all pervasive, and all I could all I could think about was him snoring and keeping me awake. But of course that wasn't the issue. The issue was that my brain had misidentified wakefulness, sleeplessness as a threat, as a danger. And because of that, my brain was in that hyper alert, hyper vigilant mode, and all of a sudden even his snoring seemed to be dangerous or a threat, right? So when we're in this state, our brain can misidentify and start tagging everything as a potential danger, including like sleeping next to our partner, or the snoring, or the dog barking, or I mean, honestly, anything can be tagged as a threat. And it's kind of almost like we're playing whack-a-mole when we're in this fight or flight or hypervigilant mode, because the brain is misidentifying really benign experiences, things in our environment as potential threats. So what I'll say about this is, when we have gone through some recovery and we start to respond differently to the difficult emotions and sensations and thoughts that are arising, rather than resisting and trying to fight, kind of, escape, fix, control, manage, all of that, we are more inclined and learning how to lean in to the discomfort a little bit. And we can do this, in little bits at a time. And we start to develop this tolerability, willing to tolerate some of this discomfort. And what this does is it starts to build tolerance. We call it a window of tolerance in nervous system speak, and it also starts to increase this window of tolerance and our capacity to experience discomfort. So once we go through this and we very gradually start to respond and react in this new way to the discomfort that is the insomnia experience, knowing that it's actually safe to be awake at night, all of the emotions that are showing up, the anxiety, the fear, the dread of the next day, all of those they're very safe to experience, albeit incredibly uncomfortable. So as over time we keep allowing this experience to be there, this discomfort is allowed, it's not dangerous, we very, very gradually build on this. So we build capacity slowly, we build our window of tolerance slowly, and it starts to be less bothersome to be awake at night. We start to not be so scared by being awake at night. And even these difficult emotions and thoughts and sensations that come with this experience, they also lose their intensity because we're allowing them, okay? And so what happened when in my experience, I was, sleeping in a separate space for some time, and I was going through recovery, and I was slowly gaining this resilience. I was slowly building my capacity to experience discomfort, and it wasn't so overwhelming anymore. I wasn't so scared by the wakefulness. I wasn't scared by the emotions that were showing up. I was meeting those and allowing them to be there, while showing my brain that everything was okay. We were safe, all was well, right? So this was however I chose to spend my time during those wakeful hours, kind of my behavior that was showing the brain it was safe. right? So this could include any number of things that we talk about in befriending or embracing wakefulness. We won't go into that right now. But what happened over time is I gained this capacity, right? And so I decided I wanted to go back into the bedroom, with my husband. And I knew that it might cause a little bit of sleep disruption or some bumpiness, because whenever we make a change, the brain is going to be on alert. It's going to want to check in to make sure everything is okay and that we're safe. And this is just normal. This is just what brains do, and it'll pass. There's nothing here that we need to worry about. This is just a really natural thing. Even with somebody that doesn't have insomnia, when we make a big change, the brain's gonna come in to check, is everything okay here? Is everything safe? And our job is to reassure it that it is. So I had built up enough capacity to tolerating this discomfort that I was okay with experiencing some bumpiness. I felt like I could handle that. And so I returned to the bed with my husband, and there were, a few bumpier nights, a little bit of choppy nights. But then, of course, my brain settled because I wasn't overreacting to that. I was like, yeah, that's to be expected a bit. And it passed. So, and that's what the point I really want to make here. There may be a little sleep disruption. There may be a little bumpiness, and it's normal, and it will pass. It is temporary. That is what I want you to hear. It's temporary. So that's really important. And the other point that I really want to make here is that at some point, the things that we value become bigger than sleep. They become more important than sleep, okay? So I started to value of sleeping in the same bedroom with my husband meant more to me than protecting sleep. And this is really an important point to understand, because this is how sleep falls off the pedestal, right? It's our emotional attachment to sleep that keeps it on the pedestal, and part of recovery is that emotional attachment lessening. So when we start to live our values and do the things that we want to do because we value them, this goes a long way in showing the brain that we are safe, and also taking our power back from this insomnia experience and letting our values lead the way. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for your question, Kate, and I hope that that's helpful. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it.